splattered the phone, I believe. All right, so is this another test, or are we actually going to do this now?
Let's try this.
Okay. So this is podcast number 1.
Number 1.
Of the podcast that has no name.
No name?
Currently.
Yeah.
All right. So I had a theory on what it should be, but... Are we actually going to do this now?
I've had some theories as well.
All right. So
but let's start kind of at the beginning.
Okay.
Like, what was it? 3 years ago, you said, hey, AJ, you want to do a podcast? And I think I said something like, yeah.
Something like that. And I think my thought was we should do a beer podcast.
Oh, that's right. Like,
different kinds of...
Me too as well, but...
Thanks.
You came to mind because of that.
I was the last choice, wasn't
I think that the differences that we have, other than you came to mind, some of the similarities is that the drinking beer part,
right?
Is what would make.
Are you talking about the healthy eating?
Yeah. So I thought the first one might be good to talk about our differences.
Okay. Before you go further, I'm not going to eat anything healthy on this podcast.
Well, maybe later as a dare.
Maybe.
If there's money involved.
If ratings are declining, I might eat something that'll make me puke.
So, okay, so there's that. That's one difference we have. I try to eat healthy for the most part, and I think you live on ranch dressing and chicken.
No, I don't like ranch dressing.
Oh.
Hot dogs and pizza. That's basically my diet.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. Yeah, that's it.
And the pizza...
Once in a while, Subway will put salad on my Subway sandwich, but I don't like that.
Oh, just because you pick it off doesn't count.
No, sometimes it gets past the security.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I think this meat's rancid. And Kristen will be like, no, that was lettuce.
But on a pizza, you never put vegetables, right?
No, never.
Do you enjoy meat so much, you think, because you just hate animals so much?
It's possible. I don't know why I like meat so much. It's delicious.
I eat vegetables, so I think they should all die.
Wow. You've got a lot of work to do. You're the most violent vegetarian I've ever met.
I'm not a vegetarian.
I know. But kind of.
Yeah. So.
What did you have for lunch today?
Chipotle. But I did get the chorizo. I can't ever say it right.
Chorizo.
The sausage.
I've never had that before.
Oh, it's great. It's
spicy?
It's a bit spicy, and it's actually chicken and pork put together.
Wow. How does that...
Are we allowed to swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
Just once in a while? Or no, I don't want to be like fuckity fuck.
Well, now you've taken the fuck quota, and I can't say fuck anymore.
Oh, because I was going to say, it was like they take chicken and pork and have it fuck, and it makes chorizo.
But I don't understand something.
Right.
I thought if you took chicken and touched it with anything else, you'd get salmonella.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Maybe that's why Chipotle was killing people. Should I say that on the air?
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Well, wait. Now, the chance of Chipotle paying us to do this podcast, sponsoring us, is dead.
I don't know. I think they still might go for it.
I just said they killed a bunch of people.
You know, okay, so that's one thing. Who do you think listens to this podcast? I'm pretty sure my wife will.
Yep, and she'll post it on her Facebook. I'm pretty certain, based on my Facebook postings, that nobody will listen to this.
So we're going to have my mom and my
We'll
wife.
have 2 listeners, which is 2 more than I had on my previous podcasts.
Okay.
So this is a success.
Yeah, it's like 200% better already.
Also, I will listen to it 20 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do they frown on that for ratings, or?
I don't know. I think it's probably fraud.
Probably if they go, oh, well, there's only 22 listens, and 20 was him, yeah, let it go.
Yeah. He feels sorry for himself, and I do.
Okay, so one of the other things is like, a difference that we have is like, jobs.
Well, how so?
Well, I've had my job for almost 20 years now.
Okay.
I've worked at one place forever.
You judging me?
Well, I'm just saying, you haven't. You've had more than one job in the last 20 years. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot more?
A lot more, yeah. Well, no, not necessarily a lot more. I worked at the hospital for about 12 years. And then after that, the next 8 years, I've kind of turned into I don't know what you would even call it, a serial job person? I don't know.
Yeah, like a revolving door?
Yeah, revolving door. But I mean, it's all been dead-end jobs. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do. I don't want to get too serious about it, but, there's not much out there, and I have no education.
And I said this before to you, I think your perfect job would be truck driver, except for the fact
I don't drive.
Yes.
And I probably couldn't see over the steering wheel.
No, they have an air seat. You can put it any height you want.
Oh.
Yeah, you can lower it down to get out, then you can get on there
The
and
funny
raise
thing
it back
is,
up again.
Kristen's dad suggested the same thing, but that's because he wanted me to leave.
Well, but no, it's perfect, man. You can drive around the countryside. There's nothing but greasy restaurants serving pancakes and pizza and all the things you love. You can look at the countryside, listen to music.
Now, if I could rewind my life and go back, to get my driver's license and not live this life of no driving, that probably would have been the perfect job. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a driver's license.
And why don't you drive a truck?
And I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a CDL, so...
Oh, that's right, I remember you.
And I drove truck for 7 months. It was the worst job in the world for me. But I'm more of a hands-on... My mind gets working, and I couldn't do all the things I wanted to do because I was just always making that money.
And that's kind of why I don't drive, because I can't focus on things. I'm a bad driver. I've drove before, obviously, but I'm just not good at it because I can't focus on things.
Maybe that should be one of our podcasts, is me teaching you how to drive an 18-wheeler.
That would possibly be the last podcast.
Or the motorhome. I know you're a little rusty, but here's 32 feet.
We're going to start he just hit someone. I don't know how he did it. My first driving experience, my dad had a Datsun. You remember the Datsuns?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
You're great.
It was a stick shift.
Of course.
And he said...
the only way they came.
Is it? They didn't have automatics?
In fact, probably, I'm thinking we're same era. You're like the same age as me, right?
Yeah, I was about 5 or 6 when he decided it would be a good idea for me to drive from our neighbor's house to his house, to our house. And I'm probably going to belch from time to time on this podcast, too. That's just a warning. And it wasn't really a warning, it was just a precursor. Yeah, so he decided it would be a good idea to have me drive from the neighbor's house to our house. And for some reason I couldn't get the stick to shift, and we kept rolling, and it was a hill into the river. And my dad almost died of a heart attack that day. And that's possibly why he never taught me how to drive.
That was it, huh?
Yeah, he was like, I'm not getting it.
No second chance.
Nope.
Huh. Maybe it's because he had a little Datsun with not enough horsepower, too.
It's possible, but we were poor, so Datsuns,
Yeah. Datsuns were good. Another difference we have. Kids. My kids are, like, grown up and out of the house.
Right. I actually was thinking about this yesterday.
You're still making them.
Yeah, I'm 40 years old.
You're getting pretty good at it.
I have 2 in the last 3 years. Yeah. Let me do the math. Charlie's 2.5. Yeah, so 2 kids in 3 years at the age of 40 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like a medical miracle.
And you're doing it so good, you're blowing the balls right off of them.
Right. I don't know if that's exact terminology, but in this very touchy time of gender specificness.
That's how I thought it happened.
Yeah, you probably should have a conversation with someone.
I didn't do so good in school, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but your oldest is...
19.
19. And my youngest is 7 weeks yesterday.
Your oldest is...
2.5.
2.5, yeah.
So, yeah, 2.5.
So you got a long ways to go, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll live to see Charlie at 19.
I guess you never know, but...
I mean, obviously, I don't eat well. We've already covered that. I think one episode of this podcast should be just me eating a whole thing of pizza.
Okay.
A meat lover's pizza without the hamburger.
Because...
Hamburger's disgusting on a pizza.
Yeah, it really doesn't taste like anything.
No. Yeah, and it's so small, you're like, did I even get any?
What about if you put sausage on it instead? Or does it come with sausage?
Yeah, it does come with sausage.
Oh, okay.
Well, where I'm a pizza cook.
Oh, that's right. Every now and then I find a picture of a pizza and I send it to you.
Yeah, randomly.
Do you get them?
Yeah, I do. Most of the time I don't
pizza.
respond because I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that. Do I send them a picture of a cucumber? And then there's gay connotations, and not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
So the other differences, is there any more?
Let's see. I know there's more. There's the diet, there's their jobs, there's the kids. Oh, like hobbies.
Hobbies?
Yeah. I have lots of hobbies.
You do have a lot of hobbies. You keep yourself busy a lot.
A lot. I'm very busy all the time.
Like, what is your main hobby right now? The boat?
Yeah, sailing and still motocross. Not mainly for me, but my son races motocross, so that keeps me pretty busy being the mechanic on that.
Right.
Well, he's the rider. I'm the mechanic and the coach.
And the funds.
And the cook. Yeah, and the sponsor. And what else is there? Those are pretty major.
Yeah, that's the main ones.
Yeah.
Hobbies for me include beer drinking. Well, you have that one too.
Yeah.
Well, do you consider that a hobby or a way of life?
It just seems like I kind of told I said this to someone not too long ago. I have a 3-beer minimum. Most people have a maximum, but mine is by the end of the day, I like to have at least 3 beers before I go to bed. And throughout the year, there's maybe 4 times where I can't do that.
Really?
Yeah, but usually 3 beers at least.
We'll cover that again.
At least. Sometimes there's more.
Do you get sick if you have less than 3 beers? Because I do. I can't drink just 1 beer.
Yeah, well, if I'm out, see, another thing is I'm to bed by 10 o'clock, so.
And you get out of work at what time?
Out of work, 4:30, 5 o'clock, somewhere.
So what would you say, from 5 o'clock? When do you crack your first beer?
It could be anywhere from 5 o'clock. Like
right in the car?
No, like if I leave at 4:30, get home, crack one open then. Depending on the day, I guess. But a lot of times it's like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then, or if I'm for some reason away and can't get home till 9 o'clock, I might have one just before I go to bed. But sometimes I feel like I'm just doing it just to do it. I don't really need it. Okay. Now I can go a week without it, and I have. Oh. It's not like, and I don't get sweats and freak out or nothing like that.
You don't get in a bad mood?
No. But I don't feel better either. I don't feel worse. I don't feel better. You're just not drinking. Not drinking, yeah. Okay. Which is probably good for...
Do you think you'll ever stop in your life?
I don't know. There's times I've thought about it. Maybe not stop, but just weekends rather than every day. I don't know where...
Well, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. I just do weekends.
Okay. Yeah. And that's not so bad, right?
No. I mean, if I had the choice, I would like to do it whenever I wanted to. But it's become an agreement that I do it on weekends. That way I'm functional, which I was never not functional, but you know how it is.
Well, I know if I drink too many, I can't sleep. I wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep.
If you're not drinking?
If I drink too much.
Okay.
Like,
oh, really?
Say like 6 during a weekday, I'll wake up at 3 and I'm just awake. Huh. And I don't know what it is. My mind races through all the things I'm supposed to be doing and why I should be sleeping.
Right.
And I can't get back to sleep because of it. It's really distracting.
Interesting.
And it makes the whole situation worse.
Right.
So I wake up, a little spark knot going on, and you haven't slept enough.
Right.
It's pretty convenient. So, yeah, I'd like to get back to the weekends. Something happened at some point in my life where it used to be weekends forever, and I just started picking it up more and more during the week. It must have been... I've been married for almost 10 years. I guess we're different there too, huh?
Yeah. Me and Chris have been together... Let's see. Close to 6 years. 2011.
We were together for 6 years or a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've got a decade on us.
She's going to be mad when she listens to this, and I don't remember.
Maybe, you're not good with math.
Right, that's it. She's not good at it either, though, so she probably doesn't really remember.
She doesn't even know you're married.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she told me she was single yesterday.
Okay.
I said, that didn't make what we just did, okay?
She didn't tell me that. Yeah. So, yeah. So she says...
I think I'm the only person that could say that was not getting punched, right?
Yeah, no, there's quite a few. Oh. Actually, we've been together for like 15 years, so it's, have at it.
Whatever. Now you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, take my wife, please.
Oh, boy. We'll be doing this podcast from my house, apparently, for the rest of the...
Yeah. I'll still be in the motorhome.
The next podcast, I'll just knock on the door and you'll be like, come on in.
Yeah. Been priming up, ready for it.
The funny thing is, we don't even know if this is still recording.
Yeah, because it's green's all black?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's fine.
I hope so. This is like believing in God.
Yeah, I'm going to
Well, does red mean stop, though?
Red means go, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Stop means
go? I don't
go?
drive.
I know okay.
I know no means yes.
It was still, right. Man, we're 16 minutes in.
Wow. This is the best podcast ever.
So far.
I don't think we're supposed to address that we're doing a podcast, though, right? That's amateur stuff.
I don't know. Obviously, we are.
Yeah.
You can't. You're supposed to. Is a podcast like somebody recorded the room and nobody knew that it was being recorded?
That's a good idea for a podcast. Actually, we should just go to a bar.
Yeah.
And record one episode and just the sounds of the bar.
Oh, people might be able to sleep to it.
Yeah. Alcoholics that can't go to the bar anymore.
Yeah. Use it for an alarm clock.
Those times.
I had something else I was going to talk about. What is another difference you think we have? Do you have any?
Nice. Is that the first one of the day?
It is, but I think I took out a 30-pack or close to it last night.
Nice.
So I've been eating it, really. I've been spark knocking pretty good.
I didn't eat anything all day yesterday, so 10 of these almost killed me last night.
Oh, you had 10 of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I think I drank some throughout the week, and then I had some help, too. But we had a bonfire and drank some beers, and I was up till midnight.
Last night?
Yeah, I guess I was singing songs.
I guess my invite was lost in the mail.
Must have been. It just kind of happened. Kind of like last Sunday, we try to get together, and then all of a sudden everybody shows up. Just those days sometimes, like...
Well, I was there last Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
but you showed up, and
afterwards?
then Matt showed up, and, like, everybody started showing up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Paul showed up.
They got there when we were leaving.
It just was one of those days on a Sunday. It's like a Saturday.
It's the power of beer.
They didn't even drink.
Oh, I don't respect that at all.
Yeah.
Do they listen to this?
So far, I don't think anybody listens to it.
Oh, yeah. I listened to it like 5 times.
I thought it was pretty good. I showed some people a little bit.
You showed them an audio file?
Yeah. I said, hey, watch this. But everyone that what do I say? Can't say showed it to?
Yeah, I guess it's probably the correct terminology for it. Because you can't say that you listened to it with it, or
listened to?
Played it for them?
That could be it.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the better.
Yeah.
If we were intelligent people.
Right. So anyway, everyone who has listened to it likes it.
All right.
And now Devin had an interesting thing. He said, man, we should record that, and then I can zoom in here and there and stuff. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, I brought that up,
seems like a lot of work. And, we'd have to have multiple angles and cameras.
I'd have to have a makeup person.
Yeah.
Well, we could do it one camera. That's not a big deal.
Charlie could do makeup.
She could. I mean, did you see her Adolf Hitler mustache today with the chocolate?
Mm-mm.
It was nice.
That is good stuff.
This beer is amazing right now.
Don't set anything here. Mine is actually, I bought it hot for some reason. I don't know. It said it was on sale. I didn't know if it was because it was cold or not.
Okay.
But thinking about it, they probably weren't thinking that far ahead.
They probably just overstocked.
Yeah. So I grabbed, and then I put some icings in there. It's not bad. I figured I was going to have hot beer. But
I've only drank hot beer one time on purpose, and that was, I was living in Florida, and we decided we were going to go fishing at like 7:30 in the morning, and there was no cold beer available, so we just drank warm Budweiser.
Oh.
Yeah, it was horrible. I puked that day.
Yeah. You were fishing?
Yeah.
Like out in a boat?
No, right off a bridge.
See, I've tried to put it in the water, too. Like, I thought I was being tricky one time, and I was out of town, and I was trying to keep my whiskey cold.
Okay.
So I put it in the back of the toilet at a hotel room, which probably was not very sanitary.
It's dangerous, but...
But maybe it was my soda, whatever it was I was mixing at the time, and it really wasn't that cold.
So you prefer whiskey cold?
No, I think I was going to have 7.7s or something.
All right.
And, they have free ice, but I was trying to be...
You didn't want to have to walk down there so many times.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But no, I prefer whiskey right out of the freezer.
Really?
I've had my choice. Yeah, it's so good. It makes it smoother. If you buy cheap shit whiskey.
I've never really been a whiskey drinker, but if I do drink whiskey, it's usually warm with Coca-Cola.
Oh. See, I like it straight up. Or whatever. So,
we probably should have gotten a sign that said on air right now so people wouldn't bother us.
Yeah, that's all right. That worked out. He kept driving.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about the podcast earlier, and I came up with another difference between you and I.
Oh.
But I can't remember it for the life of me now.
Oh, okay.
But maybe, hopefully, within the next hour or so, I will remember it.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that you have your notebook again. Do you have thoughts?
I do have notes, but I thought the first one was this one you'll like.
Okay.
This is a napkin.
Yes, I like that.
From B-Dubs.
Oh. From my birthday?
No.
Oh.
We went there yesterday. We had a big
Where was
days.
Where was my invite?
We were in Bay City. You would have had to go on a boat. And
I feel as if you're just keeping me around for the podcast.
Maybe. But sometimes I just go out to dinner with my wife.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. But I know it makes you feel bad. I try to keep it from you, but...
Well, when you post it on Facebook, it doesn't really... That's not keeping it from me.
If you smell it, it smells like B-Dubs.
I also know that you guys went to Red Oak the other day without inviting us, and that's actually my place.
Oh. I don't know how you find out about all these things.
Your wife throws it in my face.
Oh. Yeah, she's vindictive like that. So... The last time we talked about the fact that we had a podcast, but we didn't have a name for it.
Right.
And then you were going to put it up, and you had a really good name.
Mm-hmm.
But I just sat there for a minute and tried to throw down some ideas.
Sure.
And I thought maybe we could bounce around some ideas because we're going to be the only ones listening to this until we upload it, so the rest of the world can enjoy it.
Yes.
Then we'll have our 3 subscribers, right?
I hope. I'm shooting for 5.
Oh, wow.
If we get 5 subscribers, I'll be happy.
You going to shave your... mustache or something?
No, maybe my hair.
Shave your hair?
Yeah, because it's getting hot in that kitchen, so...
Like bald?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I almost spilled my beer. I put it down here like a dummy.
Oh, boy.
So we're recording in a car.
Don't tell them that. This is the podcast.
Man, it's hot. It's a black car. It's hot as hell.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in a very fancy studio.
Yeah.
Microphone. And I'm also... We should tell them what we're drinking. I'm drinking a delicious natural ice, 5.9% alcohol volume.
Wow.
Ice brewed for a naturally smooth taste. And for a natural light product, it really is smooth.
Yeah, I do like the natty ices. I'm drinking Pabst.
That's your go-to.
It is. That's what I always drink. It's affordable, but not really bad.
Right.
And actually, most Budweisers make me... I feel horrible drinking them. Yeah. Anything from Anheuser, I just can't stand. So this is cheaper and whatever, and I like it.
I don't mind PBR. I don't drink it very often, but when I do, I'm not offended by it in any way.
They don't all taste the same. Some are sweeter than others too.
I've noticed that. Like some are real sweet, and some are borderline skunky a little bit. Or maybe I'm just drinking bad ones, but...
Right.
Anyways, so we drove up to my former homeland where I grew up from the ages of, I'm going to say 1 to 13. Yeah, Chris has never been there, and the babies didn't really see it because they were in a car. But the house that I used to live in is gone.
Oh, over here?
No, up north.
Oh.
Prescott, Michigan.
Oh.
Have you ever been up that way?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Chris was a little baffled because there's no street signs, or lights, I should say. Pretty much all dirt roads, and basically one-car roads, really. And
what's it near?
West Branch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we went up there for a couple hours, and it was kind of alarming to see where you grew up, the house is totally gone.
Yeah. Like, well,
I guess that was
that
maybe
field there is where I grew up.
There's a stump. And then there's the remnants of the well that we got our water from. You can kind of see the roof from that, but it's deteriorated to the point where it's probably not even there anymore. But I think that was the difference. You live in a house that's been in your family for basically your whole life, right?
Oh yeah. Well, my whole life, yeah.
Yeah. So your home is actually really kind of a home.
Yeah.
Whereas I've moved.
Well, I've moved
a billion times.
I've moved plenty too, but I ended up back there.
But you have a base. You have a base that you can always go to.
Right. Yeah. Whenever we lived in Australia, we lived in Florida, lived in South Carolina, lived all over the place. But whenever I see the American flag, you know, like that was the house that I remember being home.
Right.
So
that's where all your cherished childhood memories?
Well, not really even that. I mean, we had a brand new house in Vassar, and I don't really have a connection with that. I just had a connection with that place for whatever reason.
Well, there's a lot of...
We went there a few times and things like that, and yeah, we had fun there, but I had fun at other places too. I don't know why.
There is a lot of personality in the house that you live in now.
Maybe that's it. It's like got a good amount of property. It's in a good location. The house is really weird. I like that. It's got some outbuildings, and I like that.
What I like about your house is that it's actually lived-in house. You know, you can tell that it's there. Yeah. It's not. You can't go in there and not sit on the furniture, or
right.
You can tell that it's been enjoyed.
Yeah. It's cats have scratched this and that over the years.
Right.
And it's lived in, and it's got
scars.
Yeah, it's got scars to prove it.
Yeah.
I got scars. It's all good. I was noticing my sailboat's the same way. Like a lot of things I have, they get beat up a bit, and it's like, it's because I use them.
Right.
You know, that's what they're made.
They're not just there for novelty, to impress people.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things we have in common. I don't think we set out to impress people.
No.
And that's probably why we have very few real friends, right? Would you say that you have a lot of real friends?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know when the last time I made a new real friend.
Yeah. And a lot of my old friends, you know, I see them somewhere and they'll say, "Hey, let's get together," and just exchange numbers and this and that. It never happens.
It never happens, yeah.
Life just gets in the way, and that's fine.
Right.
And
have you ever
kind of realized that. Sometimes I actually say it. You know what, bro? It's
cool.
not going to happen.
It's
cool, but like I'll see you again sometime in the store.
Right. And we'll say hi.
Yeah.
I've actually had friends that I was like really good friends block me on Facebook.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's weird.
You must have really said something.
Well, it goes with the I don't care what people think attitude, I think.
See, I've had friends in like phases too. I'll get a new friend and I'll have them be great friends for a couple of years, and then maybe we'll quit talking, or maybe they'll kill themselves or something like that.
Right.
And then I have new friends.
Didn't mean to laugh at that, but it was funny.
It was meant to be. But yeah, it seems like phases happen, and we've noticed that too, and that's fine. That's part of life, you know.
I'm the kind of friend that will probably come in and then leave for a little bit, and then come in and then leave for a little bit, because that's just how I am with people. Sometimes I just need to not be around people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because...
It's not on bad terms, it's just...
Right, it's just I'm just not going around anybody.
Right.
Yeah. So if this podcast ever comes to an abrupt end, that's probably what's happened. I've locked myself in my room.
It's you, not me.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah. The only other things we're talking about as far as differences go, and not to dwell on that a bunch,
right,
but was social media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do any of it.
Right.
And
I love social media.
I have, and that's kind of a problem. Like, I have a YouTube channel going on, and been working on trying to get some videos up before I really talk about that more. But Melissa's really good with the social media aspect,
mm-hmm.
and that's great, because I had Facebook. It seems like it's torn more things apart. Here's what I really, really hate about Facebook.
Okay.
So if I'm doing something and I've seen one of my friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and we're like, this just happened last summer, we're out on the boat, and I'm like, hey, we started doing this, and he's like, oh yeah, I saw that. And I'm like, oh, well, what about this? He's like, yeah, I saw that too.
We have nothing to talk about then.
Holy shit. Like, what have you been doing? He's like, oh, I haven't been doing much. I'm like, okay, well, I have. And you've seen, like, some of it from somebody else's point of view. It's like being followed by the paparazzi in a way. And it really makes me upset when I'm doing stuff with my mom and different things where you got to, like, stop everything to get a certain picture for the post so you can look cool instead of just enjoy it. Yep. I get it, taking videos and then at the same time I'm trying to do videos, vlogs, if you will, weekly ones, and so yeah, I have to video all these little parts and make it exciting too. So I'm on the fence with it, sort of.
Right. I've always thought of myself as a personality. I don't understand when people get upset about being watched, because I feel like I should be watched because I'm so entertaining. Like my life is so entertaining that I'm so witty and funny. But really, I'm not.
I don't know. I think you're pretty funny.
Yeah, but when I look back on it, I probably should turn cameras off and never be on social media, just like you.
Right. And I've thought about, too, and like the Truman Show. Yeah, I would totally do that.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, the Truman Show.
If I could do it like 24/7, like I think I live an interesting enough life that I could pull it off as well. Work probably wouldn't like it and things like that. Yeah. But
it would definitely kill some relationships because they would see the genuine, true you if you were being, totally open to the project.
Right.
I've always kind of been obsessed with the voyeurism. One of the first websites I would watch or go to when the internet was in its infancy was a website called Jenny Cam, and she basically just recorded her whole entire life. It wasn't necessarily sexual. Oh. It was just her life. Sometimes it did get there, and that's probably what drew me in initially because porn. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's just interesting. I think it's kind of artistic. Oh, can we do that?
Well, I figured I'd pick them up later, but I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, I didn't really either. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's kind of artistic in a sense to expose yourself that much. It's also kind of vain, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've always wanted to make a movie, and it just seems like that would be the natural movie to make because it would probably be the easiest kind of movie to make.
Yeah.
And I always go for the easiest route possible.
See, that's what I haven't. I feel like my personality with this so far, my experience of this is our second, is way more natural, and it's what I want to portray in my videos. But in my videos, I'm very like, this thing where I just like I go to like. I'm a teacher, and I'm like, here's this thing right here. This is why I do it.
You go into those educational film type things?
Yeah, I don't do anything funny. I'm not me, and Melissa tries to do some funny stuff, but the whole time I'm like,
and then when you try to do something funny, it just seems too staged, right?
Oh my God!
Missed your mouth a little bit there.
I did. Yeah, luckily I have this napkin from Vito's.
The notes are gone, but
yeah.
You did hit record, right?
I cleared. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
I used to do this podcast.
I have to check now. Yeah. See.
Okay. I used to do a podcast before, and I was in charge of production. And there'd be times I'd forget to hit record.
I probably did that now, and you could. People listen to it and be like, it goes. Because I put it back on a plastic cup. Okay, in our recording studio. Okay, let's go over real quick here some names.
Okay.
Now, yours was really good. We should almost save that for last.
Okay.
That's probably going to be the one because I don't have anything much better than that.
Let me ask, in this list, did you put The Odd Couple?
No.
No.
So we can maybe play off of this too. So one I had was 48 ounces. I was thinking kind of like maybe 48 hours or 60 minutes.
Okay.
48 ounces because I figure we'll drink like 3 or 4 beers.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. Podcast AD, just because like it seemed like, a timeline thing.
Okay.
And not to put my name first, but DA didn't.
That's fine. DA sounds more like a legal type deal.
Yeah. Then I switched it around and did Vagabond King versus an Old Soul.
But that kind of wordy.
A long one. And then, I don't know, I just put in Mine's Better Than Yours.
I like that.
Yeah. This one's really good. Thick, Meaty, and Healthy.
Thick, Meaty, I think we're going to get a lot of followers that we're not wanting.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought that was good.
It is good. And if we did go with that one, we could get some hot-voiced woman to read the title in the beginning of the show.
For Thick, Meaty, and Healthy.
I guess you could do it.
I could just do it, yeah.
I kind of got to go to the bathroom.
This one I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to anyway. How about the podcast is Until Kristen Says It's Time to Go.
I actually really like that one a lot.
I figure it's coming pretty soon, yeah, today.
Yep. I think that might have just taken the lead. Yeah.
The other one was Where Were We?
Where Were We? But yours picks up every time. Where were we?
Oh, or just, I'm sure we'll get on tangents and be like, oh, where were we? What were we talking about? where'd that come from?
I think the title has to be something easy to remember, because we might drink more than 3 at one point and totally forget what we're doing.
That could happen. But you had a very good one, functioning drunks.
Yes.
I
like that one a lot.
And then it's like functioning alcoholic, but
we're not alcoholics. We
they go to meetings.
They go to meetings and they know they have a problem.
Right.
Drunks are okay. So an alcoholic is an atheist, whereas a drunk is the person who hasn't decided if he's an atheist or not. I can't remember what they call that.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah.
Maybe we can look it up and insert it in here somewhere. Like, oh, I remember. It's
agnostic.
Agnostic. You didn't even have to look it up, or did you? No one will ever know.
No, they won't. But I didn't because, well, I didn't. So maybe we should have a poll.
That's what I was going to say. I was wondering, and I wasn't going to look it up, but what about if we called the operator? Remember when we used to talk to the operator? Mm-hmm. Be like, hey, can you connect me with blah, blah, blah? I bet they don't have shit going on anymore, because everyone's Googling everything.
Right.
Couldn't we call the operator and be like, hey, is there anyone there? And be like, we got a toss-up between, what are they going to be? We don't know yet. 48 ounces and functioning drunks?
Yep. Let's see what happens.
And then we could call them and see if they're willing to take a minute. And
on a cell phone, I'd have to hit 411, though, right? It's not 0?
I don't know. I know you don't want to push 911.
Right.
If you wait too long, it calls anyway.
Oh.
Yeah. Or something like that. My Nextel used to do that. Now, I know I called, if we were at my house.
Verizon Wireless, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again.
You're out of minutes?
I did listen to a lot of Pandora. Let's see.
Now, like at home, I have rotary phones, and to get a hold of the operator is quite an ordeal.
Yeah.
And
city and state, please.
Midland, Michigan.
See, it's going to be automated. You got to get to a person.
Right. Hello? Is this a real person?
One moment for an operator.
Oh.
You just have to say real person.
So,
Midland, please.
Hi, I just have a question for you really quick. I don't mean to be a bother. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Me and my friend here, we're hosting a podcast, and we're trying to decide the name of the podcast. Could you help us out with that?
Hold us with those, please, sir. Thank you.
Say that again?
City and state, please.
Hi, ma'am. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I was just curious. Me and my friend are doing a podcast, and we're trying to figure out what we should call it. We have 2 names, and we're kind of torn on the 2 names. Could you tell us what you like best?
I'm sorry we're not able to chat with customers.
Oh, why?
We're only here to give out numbers. Do you want me to look up a number for you?
What if one of the titles had a number in it? Like 69.
48 ounces.
48 ounces is one of them. I take that as a no.
Weird. So they can't fraternize with the guests.
What kind of Nazi regime do they work for?
You had a guy and then they transferred you over.
Yeah.
He did sound foreign.
He did.
But, yeah, maybe you went to the boss lady or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I hope my phone doesn't get turned off now.
Yeah, they traced it. Huh. Well, it's good to know there's still people out there doing it.
Right.
And Google hasn't totally... I bet there's only 4 of them.
Probably just 4, and they probably make 10 cents a phone call.
Were they that damn busy?
I wonder if they're afraid that these guys will tell us that they're working in a sweatshop of some sort.
They're going to be really pissed when they find out they're on our podcast, and 3 people are listening.
3 to 5 people. 3 to 5.
Yeah. So, okay, well, that was a fail.
Yep.
Well,
so...
I like the drunks one, honestly. I think all mine are shitty.
I don't know. 48 ounces is good. Until Kristen says let's go is kind of my favorite now, but I don't know if it's just because it's...
Maybe it can just be an episode.
Until Kristen says let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, we could just be like, okay, we're just going to sit here until she finally gets like really fed up
or
and mad.
It could be 48 ounces with the tagline, until Kristen says let's go. Or until Kristen says let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, something to think about. We'll have a decision by the end of the show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because I need something to upload to iTunes.
Yeah. All right. I thought of another topic.
Okay.
Art.
Okay.
Like you're artsy. You told me something the other day I thought was pretty cool. You did an album cover for a band I used to listen to back in the day. Who was it? But you guys both, Kristen and you both do artsy type things, right?
I did a website for a band.
A website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've built a couple websites. The most recent was for the band. Well, it's a tribute band, sort of, for Carnivore, which was led by Peter Steele of Type O Negative fame.
Mm-hmm.
And his guitar player is married to one of my friends, and reached out, and so we put together a website for him. And then about 5 or 6, maybe 7 years ago, I designed a website for a band, and they actually did live shows on it, and I think it was one of the first bands to actually do that, to do regular live shows. We had a tip jar set up on the website and everything.
Oh, so they do a live show over the web?
Yep. Well, they were at the bar. They'd be at a show. We'd stream it from the bar.
Was it recorded as well then?
Yep. It was archived, and people that were watching could chat and send money to the tip jar, where it would buy drinks for the band.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. I think it was one of the first.
So it's a thing now?
I'm an entrepreneur with no money.
Does anybody else do that now? Is that still a thing? I've never heard of it.
I'm sure some bands probably do it. I'm not really sure.
And then you do lots of like videos and different things that I've seen you try. You did a book, right?
Yeah, I've written 2 books actually, self-published 2 books. Sold a total of about 180 total.
Really? That's not bad, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a hustle.
You're still hustling them?
No, it's too much work and not enough pay. I think out of the 180 books that I've sold, I've made about $400. Because when you self-publish, the publishing company takes a great deal of your money.
So you can't probably print until you get so many?
No, it's print on demand.
Oh.
Yeah. I made my most money by buying myself and then selling them through my own website. Whereas I would sell those books for like $20, but if I sold them through the publisher, I made like $3 a book.
Somebody spilled beer on my shirt.
I know. I'm never coming to this bar again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I write. I've tried various blogs and whatnot. But I'm motivated at first and then lose interest if no one's giving a shit.
Yeah, but that's part of it, you know. That's the part that's the hardest part, is to keep going.
Yeah.
And then
I just don't want to beat my brains in on something that's not going to do anything.
Like I've got some, so I've been in a lot of things, like I've had a band, and I don't know, that was pretty fun.
And you had I would say a local cult following.
Oh yeah, we did pretty well with that.
Yeah.
A lot of people liked us.
Yeah.
I think we could have gone somewhere, but
maybe this podcast will create a reunion tour of some sort.
That would be cool. We still talk once in a while. We did, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. We all got together, just happened to be in town, and got on a drum kit and stuff and played a couple old songs. I called it my super suit, but it was like a onesie, kind of like, looked like mechanic's outfit. It was green.
All right.
And so they started playing, and I'm like, oh, wait. And I like pulled out of my backpack and put the stinky old thing on, and like got this beer gut hanging out of it now. It's pretty good. But yeah, that was fun. It was just, I think we were really in a place too where it was going to take off, and there was a guy, we did a Battle of the Bands once here in town, and the guy said to me when we were done playing, he said, no matter what happens here, get a hold of me. We were already kind of rocky at that point, so I never did, and I always kind of wish, what if I would have?
Right. Because
we had 2 years under our belt. We were really starting to get our own sound, you know, and it's the same thing with, like I was saying with, like, recording. It's like, doing enough of it to where you get your little niche that you do.
Right.
You know, people have their taglines and whatever that make it what they are. And some video or some producers are great, but they just don't have any kind of real following. It's just getting that first couple of videos that really takes off, and then ta-da, you're just like get going. So it might
you need that one viral.
Well, not even that, but you might need like 150 of them. I just followed a guy right now. He's a English guy, and I guess a a lot of podcasts talk about that kind of thing, like what they're listening to and stuff.
Other podcasts?
Other podcasts and other videos and other
Mine would be quite
music.
embarrassing, I think. But
I was wondering if we should maybe throw that in, but I guess...
Well, we can. I mean, my main podcasting listens range from... I'm a big wrestling fan, so I listen to a lot of 80s nostalgia podcasts from former wrestlers and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. That's all the time we have for today, Dennis.
Hey, welcome to the podcast with my new host.
Yeah.
But I also listen to like.
Can't wait to see what else there is.
Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Joe Rogan is a cool one. Duncan Trussell, Mark Maron, and then The Nerdist, which is pretty much pop culture. Do you listen to any of those?
No.
All right.
I listen to 2.
Okay.
Well, 3.
Okay.
No, 4. Actually, wow, look at it go now.
Wow.
4. So
your iTunes is going crazy.
The one guy quit making them, and I only listened to some of them if they sounded interesting, but there was a sailing podcast.
Okay.
And he just would talk to some people that...
Well, that's all the time we have.
Really ridiculous stories is what I want to listen to. The one guy was at sea for, like, months in a little life raft. So it's good to hear about how he survived for that.
Was he trying to catch a tuna?
No. He was sailing.
I was trying to make a joke that it was...
I was trying to think where that was going.
Yeah, Hemingway.
Like tuna fish?
Well, no, Old Man and the Sea, Hemingway's classic novel. I thought maybe you were just listening to Old Man and the Sea.
No.
You'd probably like that book, though.
I would, if I read books. I need to do more of that. I'm hoping sailing will give me more time to read books, because I'll run out of other things to do.
You should read that on the boat.
I will.
All right.
But this guy he was sailing off, and he got some whales mad at him.
Okay.
And they bashed a hole in his boat, and so he didn't have much time, because whales' heads are pretty big, and sunk his boat, and he ended up in his life raft, and luckily he had like a hand pump water maker thing, and yeah, he just floated around forever, and finally floated close enough to shore. The wind was carrying him the right way, and after like 45 days or something crazy like that, he ended up getting close enough to shore that the Coast Guard saw him.
So explain to me, is this a podcast that's like a serial podcast, that it's an episode after episode?
No, it's just
a one-time story?
They talk to different people. Okay. They just talk to this guy. So just some of those are interesting. I don't know. Even if you're not into sailing, listen to a guy about that would be pretty cool.
That's
and then I listened to Making It.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some guys that make different stuff. Like, I don't know, Jimmy DiResta is one of them. You ever see his stuff?
No.
He's really has a weird way of looking at things, and he'll build like a box or something out of like a log and some metal and whatever, and he's just really like the way you think, okay, he's gonna be done with it here, and then he just keeps going, and he just makes like these really cool things out of whatever.
Huh.
He had a couple of TV shows. And
what is his name?
Jimmy DiResta.
The name sounds familiar, but yeah, not.
And then there's a couple other guys. There's David Picciuto and what's the other guy's name? But these 3 guys have YouTube channels where they make things and show people how to make them.
Okay.
And some of them kind of show how they make them, and some of them just video them making things, and that just happens to be what they do for a living.
Right.
But they're very inspirational, and the fact that they're like, all we do is we had a good label. We stuck with our little program. We do change, because that's what we do, and we're using different materials.
Right.
And they have a lot of videos up, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Like
Jimmy's been doing it for 5 years. He said he couldn't believe there was one viral video was a guy's truck idling. So he's like, I made one too. I started up my truck, I let it idle for a few minutes, and it didn't take off like this other guy did,
I don't know why the other guys did.
Exactly. It must have been some sort of exhaust. I don't know. I didn't go look at the video.
Is there a fetish for that?
There is a lot of cold starts.
Yeah.
Which is weird. What the Sounds like my kid. There's a lot of cold starts with diesels, like old tanks or different engines and stuff. When they start up, they smoke like mad. And so it'll be like, 10 years cold start of this, jet or something like that. And it's usually I kind of do because it's just things that happen when you're having a conversation.
If you're going to be honest, if it's going to be an honest podcast, you got to bring some of your reality into the podcast.
Yeah. So the one guy that, man, I can't remember the name of his channel. I've probably heard of it.
I just remembered something that.
Go ahead. I'm going to try to think of the name of his channel.
The things that we have in common, not have in common. I'm a very emotional person. You're not.
You're emotional?
Yeah.
Huh.
And you're very stoic. There's times that I don't really know what you're feeling. I wish you would tell me, AJ.
Is that why your one friend doesn't like me?
Patrick?
Patrick, I think we're cool now, right?
I think so. I think Patrick, that stems from the day
That's a good story. We should tell that story.
Okay. So.
I was going to bring that up. Thirsty Thursday.
I seen that on your notes.
Oh, yeah. So Thirsty Thursday was this thing that I did for years.
Until Dennis was home and he destroyed it with his craziness.
Well, it was mainly one of my friends and me. And sometimes other people would show up, but for the most part, it was just us. And every Thursday, I don't know why I picked a Thursday because I had to work on Friday, and that asshole didn't. Because
it was a day that it was a way to extend the weekend.
Yeah,
an extra drinking
day. So I had to get up.
We're warriors.
But he would usually leave at